Today I want to go over how to install and configure Deadbeef, which is a terrific music player for Linux. I'll be using my old laptop, 32-bit Dell laptop here, which is a Bionicpup32 installed and configured to my liking. So let's go ahead and bring up the a final product, which is the we want to get to the Deadbeef setup where you have the album art, a spectrum graph here, and also a playlist with the artist and album and a title here. So I'll be using mainly a keyboard shortcuts, but obviously you can click up here for if you want to stop and so on. So but this is a final product, and let me go ahead and just demonstrate briefly. So here is the and then just with the I have my keyboard U to set up a shuffle, and then I can just briefly pause it with a T and another toggle T. Go ahead and start it again. So basically this is what we want to end up with. Linux distros, Deadbeef music player will already be installed, but in case of Bionicpup32 you actually have to go through the steps of downloading from Puppy Package Manager. And let me go ahead and bring it up. Puppy Package Manager, and then we'll go ahead and enter Deadbeef. And yeah, in my case, you can see here it's already installed, but if it hasn't been installed, you go ahead and click and then you have to actually install it, you have to just push in this do it button, and it will install. Certainly you can install it in other Linux, in Ubuntu for example. It may be in I don't think it's in Synaptic. I think you have to actually download it from either PPA or .deb file, which is you can just Google it and it's fairly easy to do. But basic configuration of Deadbeef that I'll go through is very similar. Let me go ahead and go ahead and maximize it, and then first thing that I generally do is go under View, and then you have to go into Design mode. You can go ahead and use it as here, but you'll only get a list of the albums and so on. So rather than you don't have the album art and fancy other graphics, so you should go into Design mode, and then right click on the general window here and just go ahead and I just wipe everything out first, and then right click again, and you get this insert, and you go all the way down to left and right splitter. So here there's two splits here, and then here we'll go ahead and split again, and top and bottom. So we're going to put in the album art here and a spectral graph here, and then a playlist here. So we'll go ahead and move this over a little bit so it looks something like this. And here we'll go into insert again, and this time we're gonna go ahead and album art display here. Here we'll right click again, and we'll go ahead and put in a spectrum here, just a left click, and then here we'll go ahead and right click, and then playlist with the tabs. And then what you're gonna have we're gonna have to spread things out a bit, so we'll go ahead and artist and album's gonna be listed here, and the track number is gonna be listed here, and then title of the album, and that's the duration. So we have a brief setup of the major spaces here. So next step is go ahead and you can go ahead and test. We can get out of the design mode. So what we can do next is go ahead and get into the preference under edit, and then you can go ahead and leave default setting here, playback. I think there is some people like to have a I think we'll just go ahead and leave everything default here, and DSP closes now. Okay, we'll go ahead and leave everything appearance. What we can do is try to modify the appearance a little bit more. So at we're on the tab of the seek bar and the volume bar here. So we'll go ahead and override it, and I like the accented red color, so we'll go ahead and click on the foreground, and then we'll go ahead and our little eyedropper here, and we'll go ahead and click on this something red. Here's the screen saver being recorded. We'll go ahead and grab, well, better yet, go ahead and grab a little tiny red from here. So my puppy logo. So we'll go ahead and click on there. So now the bar has turned into red. So I think that we'll go to the next strip here, and we'll go ahead and try to modify the tab and so on here and override. And then in my case, I have a font that I like to use, and it's Nihilus font, which is somewhat fancy, and you should be able to download the font of your choice, and we'll go ahead and make it slightly bigger, and then we should see it here. So we'll go ahead and OK, and you certainly see it there. And we want text to be remain black. That's fine. Okay, and then we'll go to playlist, which is gonna be what it's gonna look like here. So we'll go ahead and I think that for playlist we'll go ahead and stop it at this point. I think at this point we can visualize changes made much easier by loading up some music files. So we'll go ahead and add the folder, and I have added a folder to my music directory. So we'll go ahead and open that up, and you can see there there's album the artist and album listed here, and we can go ahead and play something here. So you can see that it's playing. Well, I can't play too long. And that's the basic idea. Now let's see if this, okay, this also, let's see. Okay, now you can see that although the other albums already have a cover, coming album cover, this one does not. And we'll go ahead and go through how to. So the reason that some of the albums already has the album cover on is because of under preference. We can go here, and under plugins, the Deadbeef already has album artwork. and we can go ahead and see the configuration that's already there. So it's fetching from tags and so on. So we'll go ahead and fetch from everywhere. So see if you can go ahead and see if the we'll go ahead and restart it again. You see interfering with so we'll go ahead and see if it so he still hasn't found the album, but we'll take care of how to manually insert the album later. So we'll go ahead and stop here. So I think that we'll go ahead and continue on here under preference. So we went through the playback. If you wanna I think that we'll go ahead and leave everything pretty much as it is. GTK2 appearance, we've changed the color of this play bar, and we also changed the tab strip font. And next we'll go ahead and look at the playlist. So normal track is black color, and well, let's go ahead and even and odd appearance. So this, I like subtle changes rather than drastic, so we'll go ahead and see, and we can go, and you can see that there's a slightly more less we'll make it a little even closer, so you can see subtle the difference in color. So and then we'll go ahead and with the selected playing a song, what we'll do is we'll try to grab the same color as the play bar. So now it has changed into a play bar color, the same color as that there. So that looks to me that I prefer that. And we'll go ahead and change the font to a nihilist. We'll go ahead and make it slightly bigger, and you can see that font has changed. And then columns here, you may want to just leave it as it is, but I'll go ahead and change to my nihilist. And I'm unsure about what the group is, but we'll go ahead and group header is, but go ahead and do that. So it's pretty much all done as far as appearance wise. You may want to this is the volume bar, by the way. So next what we'll do is there are several keyboard shortcuts which I find very useful. So we'll go, that's under preference again, edit preference, and we'll go to appearance. We finished, and this is the hotkey. Okay, so I think the only thing I generally do is that toggle stop after current track. I remove that, and I also removed that, and I don't need the return key for play because I just use toggle to pause and play. So go ahead and to toggle pause rather than control P, what I prefer is just simply T. So every time I just tap a T, it either stops the song, or if it's already stopped, we'll go ahead and start playing again. So, and then I go way down on the bottom. I usually remove that also. And then now for random, I usually just use a U for, I don't know exactly why I use U, but I just prefer U for random. So, and then for next, I prefer N. So if I want to play the next song, I just tap in N. Okay, so N, and then stop. I don't need that because I just use toggle. And then toggle pause. I already have it with T, so I'll go ahead and remove. And play, I just use toggle T to play and stop. And then previous, if I want to go up from the playlist, then I go ahead and P, previous. And all those changes I want to apply. So now, if I just tap on U, it's going to play another song. And if I tap on T, it stops it. If I want to go to play Smile song, I go to N, and here's a Smile. I want to go back to song above it, I go to P, and then I want to stop it again, T. Okay, so that's basically all the keyboard. And then next portion, I'll go ahead and go through how to manually download a cover. Now to manually download and insert a file, album cover art to the correct folder, so it shows up correctly up here rather than the default, which is not a correct album art. So what we want to do is bring up a folder itself. So we'll go ahead and it's under My Music, and this is the album that needs a folder. So we'll go ahead and get into a playlist, and then so we need to insert a file. It has to be specific, cover.jpg file right there. Then every time this album plays, it'll show. So but it also has to meet a certain criteria. So what we want to do is try to find a cover art on the internet. So what we can do is then gets, and then we'll go ahead and bring up a browser. So it's going to be a tiny bit slower because of the screen casting. So we'll go ahead and search for Stan gets, well, it's really slow because of the simple screen recorder. It's already a slow machine anyway, but we'll get there. Stan gets, and then I find it very useful to go ahead and put in a 600 by 600. This is a pixel, so cover art JPG has to be below 600 by 600 pixels. So we'll go ahead enter and let the internet search. We'll go ahead and do the search. So, and then we'll go look at the images. And hopefully you'll find the image of the art. So here is the saxophone player, and it's actually not Stan gets. Okay, here's the correct album. Okay, so this here is the album. It's 600 by 597. It's very close, so it shouldn't go over 600. Then sometimes it doesn't accept it as a cover album. But here's just the right size. So we'll go ahead and click it. And then here's the album out. I think let's see if you can view the file itself, because we need a larger file if you can. Okay, here at this point I'll go ahead and right click, and then we'll go ahead and save image, and it has to be cover, COVER, and then we can see if you can go ahead and just put it in directly into that My Music. And here's the album. Actually it's on this folder, so we're gonna just go ahead and put it in the album folder. Okay, now it's inserted into the folder. We'll go ahead and close that, and then we'll go back to the and then it's Stan gets. Now you can see that it has indeed loaded up the cover album art. Okay, so that's how these things work. So I hope you find it very helpful. Okay, so U just plays random, and P goes up, N goes down, and then I want to stop at T. I think that's about it for today. So I went through how I configure Deadbeef for my own use, and I hope you find it helpful. Thanks.